Day 2 of the Bad Bunny concert ticket Puerto Rico challenge, and these are the items that I sold to bring my debt down to $977.77. Let's go over today's sales now and see what our debt goes down to. This is the Bad Bunny Challenge Day 2. Let me give you guys a little recap from last time's video. So we ended with a total debt of $977.71. And that debt is still the same. We haven't added anything else to our trip. We still have our plane tickets and the rental to add to the costs. So that's not too bad. We're going to see what those are. I'm trying to find the best deals for both. So that might take a little bit longer for this one to go up. But you'll guys, again, you'll be seeing as we're adding, I'm going to be tacking on my half to all those expenses. Yesterday, one of the items that I listed actually sold, and they're part of that challenge. They were from all those vintage and discontinued creams that I showed you guys in the other video, and it sold overnight. So we're definitely going to be talking about that one. And also one item sold that I didn't have listed on eBay at all. It was one of the vintage Polly Pockets, and I don't know what happened, but it didn't get listed. So in my inventory audit, which is why it's very important to do this inventory audit, I added it again using Flyp real quick, and it sold, and we're going to be talking about that one as well. 8 out of the 15 items that were listed this weekend sold, which is awesome. I typically count the weekend as anything that sells Friday to Sunday. Since I don't ship out on the weekends, I ship everything out on Monday. This is also a bonus day because Monday is a holiday. It is Martin Luther King Day here in the United States, so we're going to have an extra day to get some sales in before we ship everything out on Tuesday. Since I'm a one-woman team, I like to be shipping as I go nightly. On weekends, sometimes I do let them all pile up, and I'll do them today, which is what we're going to be doing now. Since I won't be shipping out on Tuesday, there will be another video tomorrow for Monday's sales, but they're going to be separated from this weekend sales. Typically, I will add it to my total weekend sales, but again, because I'm a one-woman team, I like to just pack up as it goes so it doesn't pile up and I don't have like 20 things to pack up on a Monday when I already have a whole bunch of other things to do. So that's another great tip. For any new faces here, I know I'm doing this challenge and we probably have some new faces. I'm Diana. I'm a full-time reseller on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, and I wanted to start this challenge to show anyone out there that you can do something like this in order to save for something short-term like tickets like me or a whole trip like I'm doing as well. So I wanted to show you guys that if you just want to save up some money to go on your dream vacation, this is something that you can absolutely do, and you don't have to turn this into a whole business like I did. But this is an awesome business that you can build little by little, working your 9 to 5 and then eventually breaking off and venturing off on your own if that's something you want to do. Or if you want to do both, you can make even more money. And talking about the challenge, here are the items that I'm listing today to add on to this challenge. Everything listed going forward since day 1 is going to help me pay off the whole vacation. And I want to show you guys what I'm listing each day, that as it'll help you not just seeing what sells, but what I'm listing, so you guys can follow along with me. And then maybe some of these things that I'm listing will sell during this challenge, and you'll see how fast they sell. So take a look at these items. These are, I'm starting off with the beauty ones just because I had a lot of them, and it's pretty easy research because you can use Google Images for a lot of these things if you can't really find it just by looking at the title. So let's get started with these sales. We had 8 sales for a total of $200.71 in sales. Remember, I'm deducting the profit after fees from the total debt. And then obviously there's also some other little deductions that I do, those other deductions that you have to do when you run a business. So you'll be seeing them deducted from the total debt. And of course, some debt will be added on as we get more things throughout the times that it takes. About 8 months from today to the day of the trip. So we'll see how long it takes me to do all this stuff. So let's get started with the first one. We had 8 sales, 6 were from eBay and 2 were from Poshmark. Mercari has been asleep this whole weekend. That's insane. I don't know what's going on over there. I see some people having great sales today on Mercari and everything else is asleep, or there's people like me where I had nothing. But that's why we diversify and cross-list to other platforms so we can have days like this. When one of the platforms is asleep, you can have the other ones to rely on. And that is why I recommend cross-listing. You guys know that I cross-list with Flyp, and then I do all my automations with the auto posture. Links to both are below. You guys can check them out if you want. If you have any questions, definitely let me know in the comments. First up is this awesome full profit sale of these Nike Air Jordan Future Black Ice 3M in a size 12. They went for $39.97 full asking. I got lots of offers on these throughout the time that they were listed. They were listed for 3.5 months and they sold in those 3.5 months, and I got these for free from my junk removal contact. I believe this is one of Jordan's more vintage lines. This is an older model, so that's why it sold for what it sold, and they're in pretty good condition. Definitely had to grab these from my contact. Brings me to another point. 6 out of the 8 sales from today's video were full profit free inventory that I got for free. So I highly recommend going out there and finding this free inventory. There's many different ways that you can do it, and I do this all the time to add even more profit to my business. And if you're doing something like this just to save up for something so short term, free inventory from around your house or from people that you know is definitely a great way to go. This second sale was also a full profit sale. It's the Vintage Littlest Pet Shop Cutesy Kitten Playhouse. I don't remember if this one is actually complete or if little things are missing, but I got, as a lot of you know, I got this huge collection of Vintage Littlest Pet Shops, Polly Pockets, Fairy Winkles, and Trolls dolls, and they were all in this big, huge container. And it was a lot of research, but it definitely paid off because I put a lot of these sets as complete as possible as I could. And this one paid off because it sold for $35.97 in 2.5 months. So definitely be on the lookout for Vintage Littlest Pet Shop, Polly Pocket, all those crazy stuff. If you can lot up a whole bunch at a yard sale, I would definitely recommend picking it up because just the little accessories can go for big money too. And from the same collection, this is the Vintage Polly Pocket Fashion Fun Compact with a doll. I don't believe that this one is complete, but it does have one of the dolls with it. Again, I try to pair them up as well as I could, and this one is in pretty good condition. With these, you kind of want to look out that they're vintage bluebird, and that the yellow here, the emboss, is in really good condition, that there's no stains on them, just like these were. They were taken care of really, really well from this person. Sold for $29.90. This was part of my 10% off markdown. I had all of these set, and then Autoposher went in and dropped everything in my store 10%. It's going on now, and I like to do this at the beginning of each quarter so that things are always flowing out of my store. This one sold in just a little over the 3-month mark, so not too bad. And again, I'm pretty sure it sold because the price dropped down, and that was what made it sell. Again, sometimes you can have bolos and really good items, but if you price them too high, it might turn into non-bolos because of the price points. So you gotta really go in at the right price points and price your items to sell. I listed these more on the higher end because they are sought after and collectible, and I knew that even if in those first 3 months they didn't sell, they would sell once I started to mark them down. And because I got them for free, I'm able to play with those profits a lot more than people that buy a little bit too high, or if they're thrifted items, you already want to get as much money as possible. But again, if you keep your cost of goods as low as possible, you can play with more offers for more profits. This next sale is the sale that sold overnight from my listings from day 1. And this is the Jafra Rediscover Alpha Hydroxy Acid. This one sold for $27.97 overnight. This one is a full profit sale. These are a whole bunch of vintage creams and perfumes that my mom had that she no longer wants, and I'm selling them off. So this is definitely a good one. I'm not sure if the camera will focus on this, but this is the Jafra Rediscover Alpha Hydroxy Acid. So definitely be on the lookout for beauty stuff. Beauty stuff does definitely really well. Again, priced right, found right. It has really good sell-through rate, and discontinued vintage stuff like this definitely does well. This next one is one out of my only 2 Poshmark sales. This is the Hey Dude Wendy's in a women's size 6. This sold for an offer of $25, and this was a terrible retail arbitrage buy. I wouldn't do this again. It's a terrible size. This is a brand that's getting a little saturated, so you definitely want to pick this up as cheap as possible. I would say almost even free, because models do matter on the Hey Dudes. Hey Dudes were a very popular sought after brand, but again, markets got flooded and dropped down quite a bit. Never do something silly like this again, because I got these off of the TJ Maxx yellow tag clearance events. Everyone goes crazy for those events, but a lot more people know about them now, so markets can get flooded much easier. And besides the fact that you don't have to buy every time you go to one of these sales, if you find nothing that works for you, you found nothing, and you go on to the next one, or you go home. And I think that was my issue. I wasn't finding too many great things, so I kind of found what kind of worked, and that's definitely a terrible mistake, especially when you're doing retail arbitrage. I got this back in August for their sale, and it sold in 5 months, so it's not that bad, but I definitely wouldn't do something like this again, especially for retail arbitrage. Since I could have used those $8 on something else that would have probably sold much faster and maybe for even more money. These are the lessons that we learn in this business, and of course I'll hopefully never do it again. Back to eBay. This is the Malabrigo, I believe I'm saying that. I don't know if I'm butchering that, but this is the Malabrigo Silky Merino yarn. It sold for an offer of $20.90. I had it set, I forget at what, but I shot the 5% off offer. So whatever that is, it's way too late for me to be doing this math right now. Yeah, so it sold for an offer of $20.90. It sold in just 6 days. And again, unique yarns like this definitely do well. I highly recommend picking a whole bunch of them. If you can lot up a whole bunch at a yard sale, or if you can pick them up for free, I would highly recommend it. The profits aren't that much sometimes with yarns, so you definitely want to stick with these weird yarns like alpaca, merino wool, cashmere, mohair, all that crazy stuff will definitely do well. Some acrylics still sell well as well as cotton, but the weirder ones definitely do better. As you can tell, I'm really loving yarn because this next sale is my last Poshmark sale, and it's these Andean yarn alpaquita super fina yarn. It's alpaca yarn. It's sold for $13 on eBay, and it's free from, this is another yarn lot. This isn't the one that this one sold from. This is from another one that I got back in August. Again, I got this for free just like the other one, so it's a full profit sale, which really helps. So definitely highly recommend looking out for these types of yarns. The 8th and last sale is this Pyrex wicker basket for a casserole dish, for a certain casserole dish. I forget exactly which one. It's for the, it's right here. It's for the 233N from Corning. It sold for an offer of $8, and I got this at a yard sale in July for a cost of goods of $1.87. When I go to yard sales, everything that I pick up that day, I just know how much I spent in total, and then I'll do the cost of goods based off of every single item. So if I spent $300, I'll divide that by like 30 items, and then there's my cost of goods. This one sold, even though I got it back in July, this one took, I didn't list this one until a month and a half ago, and it took a month and a half to sell. And this was definitely one of my death pile items that were just stacking up. I got a whole bunch of stuff over the summer, and it definitely piled on, and it's helping me right now list all this stuff right now when it's not yard sale season and everyone has to go compete at the thrift stores. There's a lot more competition, so I definitely, like a squirrel, pile up as much as I can so that I can be listing all year round and not have to worry about like, when am I going to get my next stuff. But that brings me to another point. Don't let your death pile up too much. As a one-woman team, I definitely don't let it pile up a lot. Right now, I haven't gone to the thrift store in the past like 2 weeks, ever since the Barbie and the Hot Wheels haul. I've been listing all that stuff. I've been listing some stuff from my death pile, and I recently got some more free items. So all of that stuff has been keeping me busy, besides also with my inventory audit. And that's another way that you can also be playing with profits. Don't let your death pile stack up too much, but definitely have a little things for rainy days. So these 8 items brought in $200.71 in sales, and future editing me will be great at making all these deductions for you guys and to show you guys on screen exactly what I'm listing, what it's sold for, and all the profit that's coming in, and reducing my horrible debt, which will be definitely being piled up even more. I'm definitely excited to be taking this trip, but I thought this was a great challenge to show you guys, especially as me, someone that doesn't like debt, how I can bring this down. And it's definitely motivating. It's great, and I'm enjoying this challenge, even though it's only day 2. It's a fun time so far. So let me know in the comments below. Are you new to reselling and want to do something like this? Are the items that I showed you guys plausible for you to pick up? Do you guys want to do something like this? And if you've been here for a little bit, thank you guys so much for watching. Would you pick up items like this? Again, I definitely like to show you guys items, random items that sell for really good money, whether it be shoes one day or a wicker basket the next day. It's really great to diversify in all types of things, and where you list and what you pick up. That's definitely helped me from starting in clothing to now selling everything. I definitely see the difference in diversifying. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really really appreciate you guys. We have over 1,300 subscribers. I am so crazy honored by that. It's crazy to think that if I were on a stage, 1,300 of you would be watching me. That's absolutely insane. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And until next time, love you guys. Oh, hey, we're still here. Okay, yeah, this is future editing me from like 5 minutes in the future. While I was filming this video, we had another sale, which was pretty awesome. So we had 9 sales this weekend, which is great. While I was filming this video, I sold these set of 3 Sleeping Beauty Fairy Godmother porcelain figures. These are the Disney ones. I picked up a whole collection from them at the thrift store. I was there at the right place in the right time, and I wish I would have filmed it, but right when I saw that cart coming out, I zoomed right to it because I saw these figures, 2 Maleficents and Aurora, and I didn't know that some other mini ones of these same ones were also there too. I grabbed them all, so I got that whole collection, which was pretty awesome. Again, I wish I filmed it, but oh yeah, right place, right time. I grabbed them all, put them in my cart, and I immediately started comping them out to see if it was worth it, and it absolutely was, because these 3 ladies sold for $74.99, my complete full asking price. I had just sold the other mini ones. I'll put them up here for you guys for an offer of $71 and some change. I had set them at the same price. I got a watcher immediately. They're like the 3-inch rare figures, and I shot like, I think it was a 5% off offer, and they took it. It was just these 3-inch figures, and then I still had these to list. I hadn't listed them yet, so when I listed them, I just sold similar off of those. Obviously changed the size because these are 4.5 inches, and they sold for the full asking just 10 days. So priced right, bought right. These are definitely an absolute bolos. Look for them at yard sales, at thrift stores, and you yeah, definitely comp them out before. I don't know what the market will be when you find them, but I sold both sets and I made more than $100 off of both, so it's definitely great to be on the lookout for. And this is my last sale. If anything else sells, it will probably be tacked on to Bad Bunny Challenge Day 3. So until next time, love you guys.